magic button that steals your time, talent, and income, and what you can do about it. Last night I told you all to return for my next posting. Well, here it is. I'm sure that by now you've been pulling out your hair trying to figure out what in the world I would be talking about with a headline like, Who Woulda Thunk? My goal, of course, was to get you to return to read my posting. Well, you're here, so it must have worked. Thanks for joining me. Let's get right to the subject now so you can get some sleep. Maybe. Who woulda thunk? Because I'm likely a little older than most of you that are reading this posting, I remember things that you probably haven't ever considered or thought about. One thing I will mention here I'm sure will surprise you. In the early 1950s, television was introduced to the general public. It was expensive, and many people, especially radio listeners, said, "It won't ever catch on. Nobody will watch that little box with pictures in it." Of course, that wasn't the case, and an entire generation grew up from that time until now, watching far too much TV each day. Most people don't even remember a time when there wasn't a TV, or three, in the house. I do remember those days, though, because at that time, when TV was introduced, it was very expensive, and unless your family was wealthy, you simply couldn't afford to have one. Oftentimes, neighbors would gather at the rich people's house and watch TV with them while enjoying popcorn and so on. It was a party atmosphere. Of course, that's changed now, and if you don't have a TV in your living room, bedroom, family room, game room, great room, and even your bathroom, you just aren't living. My family was poor when I was growing up. We didn't have a television and didn't know anybody that did. We adjusted to hearing about this wonderful invention that was all the rage without ever having seen one, other than in the window of the local department store. Did it bother us? No, not really. We had lives to live, jobs to go to each day, and families to bring up. Eventually, though, the price came down on the set, so most anyone could afford one. So what happened to society when it became the norm rather than the exception to own a television? Society took a dive into a never-ending, seemingly hopeless situation of mindless existence. How sad. No longer did we have to do our own thinking. It was done for us. Family life was portrayed as perfect. Remember Father Knows Best and Leave It to Beaver? We forgot what life was really like. Our imaginations began to fade, and without our realizing it, we became zombies with no or little desire to go out into the world and learn anything new for ourselves. Through the years, as programs began to advance into the modern-day era, we were bombarded by all sorts of issues that we never had to deal with before. It was okay to divorce. It was okay to cheat, lie, and steal and mistreat your friends. It was okay to listen to offensive lyrics of songs and to watch videos that depicted all sorts of depravity. And what did we do about it? Absolutely nothing. We just sat and accepted it. An entire generation was lost to MTV. We now watch shows that are billed as reality TV, which are so far from reality that we should be ashamed of ourselves for even watching. And we wonder as adults, what has happened to our society? Well, duh. Let me tell you now about the magic button I mentioned earlier. It's called the on button. We get up in the morning, push the on button, and then go about our day with this mindless entertainment filling our heads and stealing our valuable time. We don't even give it a second thought. But what has it really done as it relates to how we live our lives and advance through life? Most importantly, it has stolen our willingness to learn. We now believe most, if not everything, that is presented as fact on the programs we watch. Elections are run through our television, rather than our going to sources we trust and deciding for ourselves what is truth and what isn't. Unless you're able to advertise on TV, your business won't succeed. Or so we're told. It's all a bunch of bunk. So what's the solution to the on button? Well, here's the hidden secret you've come this far to get. It's called the off button. If you're willing to push the off button on your television, an entire new world will open up to you. Amazingly enough, you'll discover that you have a brain and that it still works. Your business will thrive because you'll have time to actually think about what's important and worthy of your time. You'll find that you have original ideas that produce income, and you didn't even have to hear about it from anybody else. Whew, what a relief. So the next time you become frustrated over the fact that you just aren't getting ahead in life, that your business isn't doing as well as you'd hoped, or that your family just doesn't seem to be close, do this one thing. Hit the off button. Okay, I've rambled on long enough for this posting. I hope it's opened some eyes. If it has, let me know by posting a comment. I really enjoy feedback on my articles and posting. I'm still learning too, and yes, I have learned to hit the off button myself. And guess what? The grass is green. Books are getting read that I bought months ago, and my family actually wants to go on vacation. Who would have thunk?